last 7 months, I have really tried to figure out how can I get back to my roots, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I got lost in the sauce with social media, okay? I just got so sucked into the numbers that I forgot about what I was doing in the first place. So with that being said, I had to figure out a way to get back to why I originally started, which was to change my life, which was to elevate, become the best version of myself, reinvent myself, okay? That's why I got started in the first place. In order to get back to my roots, I wanted to come up with 10 ways that I could just really focus on changing my life and make those daily practices so that I could, again, of course, change my life moving forward and not be so sucked into whatever else is going on in the world. Do you know what I mean? So before I get into my 10 habits of daily practice, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. And I guess I forgot to mention, my name is Toni. Daily practice number 1 that I have really been implementing into my everyday routine is I am being overly intentional about everything that I am doing. And if you have not watched any of my other videos here recently, I have been stressing, okay? Stressing. Do you hear me? I'm gonna say it one more time. Stressing. The point about intentionality. So without being intentional and very cautious about what you're doing on your day-to-day, you are just pretty much going in autopilot, and you cannot draft any kind of change into your life or manifest that dream life that you want if you're kind of in robotic mode and just doing whatever constantly because that's what you're programmed to do. You have got to deprogram your mind, unlearn everything that you've known, and relearn what is going to serve you purpose in this point in your life. Some of the habits that you had prior to are not going to be beneficial to you in this season of your life. You have to shed all of those old things and be able to bring in those new habits. But again, you have to be intentional about doing those daily practices, okay? So that is my tip number 1, because overall, anything else that I say on this list is not gonna matter if you are not going to be intentional about it, okay? And if you have not already, I will pop it in the corner. Definitely check out my intentional as video. Y'all know what that AF stand for. I'm gonna keep it cute and I'm gonna keep it classy though. That's why I just put the abbreviated initials. Tip number 2 that I have for you today in order to create those better daily practices for a life-changing reinvention of yourself is 5 a.m. start time. So again, intentional about getting up at 5, you have to think about what is it that you're trying to accomplish by waking up at the 5 a.m. marker, okay? It's not that you just want to get up and just say, oh, I'm up, like, guess I'll eat some breakfast, guess I'll do this, guess I'll do that. No, you need to think about everything that you want to do at that 5 a.m. start time. Why are you getting up so early? So for me, I love to start my day off with prayer and meditation. If I don't have my prayer time in the morning and I don't have my meditation time, my whole day is pretty much thrown off. Why? Because those are the things that set me into my calmest, most mellowed out. And if y'all have seen me here recently, y'all know I can kind of be like a loose cannon. I'm a little crazy, okay? But those are the 2 things that mellow me out and keep me on track throughout my day. When I wake up at 5 a.m., that's what I'm starting my day off with. From there, then I can focus on trying to get my workout in, waking up my babies and making sure that I have time with them before they go to school in the morning, cooking them some breakfast, you know, starting my laundry, going ahead and sitting down, having my teachino, because, you know, your girl can't drink coffee. I got bad GERD. I got GERD. By starting that 5 a.m. start time, you're allowing yourself really and truly just extra time to get yourself prepared fully for the day, okay? It is going to overall help you become the best version of yourself. 1, because you are waking up at that earlier hour, but not just about waking up at the earlier hour, you're actually giving yourself the proper amount of prep time that you need, especially if you are someone who has kids or spouses, things like that, because you do need that extra time to just, you know, love on them in the morning time. I know that's what I love to do, is have that time with my husband and my kids before they start their day. My number 3 tip, planning your day to the T. The purpose of planning your day, and it's not just to stay organized, okay? It is so that you don't get overwhelmed throughout your day. When you get overwhelmed, you start getting like triggered emotionally. I know I do. If I get too much stuff that's rolling in and my day is kind of just scattering and I'm losing control over the things that I need to get accomplished, baby, a funky attitude is about to pop out. I'm just saying, because I feel as though I don't have any more control. And that is the last thing that you want to happen. So when you plan out your day, don't be a stickler for doing everything at a certain time. But you need to be prepared with what tasks you need to do for that day. By allowing yourself the proper amount of time and the amount of tasks that are going to be appropriate for what you have to handle that day, that's how you keep on track. That's how you stay at a calm and very relaxed state of mind. You're crushing your goals, you're getting all of your tasks completed, but you're not overwhelming yourself. And especially, you know, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a content creator full-time, you know, things can get, you know, a little hectic sometimes, depending on how many brand deals you have that you're working on. But nonetheless, you need to make sure that you are not overwhelming yourself and giving yourself the proper amount of time to do each task, okay? Because there are other things that you need to do during the day, and we are about to jump into my number 4 tip. Number 4 tip for the daily practices that are going to be life-changing is you need to create a wind down time. So when I said about creating tasks, your task list as you're planning out your day, you have to give yourself certain tasks that you know you can get done in a certain time frame, because you want to allow yourself a sliver of time in the evening to have a wind down time. I personally love my wind down time, okay? During this time, you want to reflect through your day. This is your time to really like kind of dissect your day, go through everything that you experienced during the day, go through any emotional triggers that might have set you off, go through any kind of task that you didn't get done, make that the priority for the next day. Nonetheless, this wind down time is solely about checking in on you. I think that is the biggest thing that we miss out on, is that we're so busy. We take on so many jobs. We're always in hustle mode. And I'm right there with y'all, because I'm in hustle mode right now, okay? I'm right there with you, but we have to be intentional, okay? We have to be intentional, and we have to prioritize our self-care. Really checking in on yourself, really asking yourself, how are you? These are the moments that you really want to take seriously, because you don't want to take into the next day with you like any kind of funk that needs to just wipe away with the rest of the day, okay? Before you lay your head down on that pillow, you need to dissect everything. Make sure that you are going to bed with a clear mind. You don't want to harbor in any feelings that might have been negatively, you know, cast on you or projected onto you or anything like that. Leave it all in the day. So your wind down time, that might look like a glass of wine for you. I know it's mine sometimes, you know, I'm just saying. That might look like a nice long hot bubble bath. That might look like, you know, a night out with your spouse, a nice dinner or something like that. That might be you just coming back and meditating again. Whatever it is that's going to give you the most comfort and the most relaxation in the evening time, that is what you need to create for your wind down time, and really be intentional about that every single day. You will always be balanced, and there will be nothing that can trigger you and get you derailed from your path and your journey. Number 5, daily practice. And this is not necessarily a daily practice, but you're going to have to practice daily to eliminate it out of your life. But some of us need to clean house, okay? And when I say clean house, we need to eliminate toxicity. I don't know why, as a human race, that we feel like we have to tolerate toxicity. Like, are we just emotionally programmed that way? If you are really trying to reinvent yourself, you're trying to manifest this life, you're trying to have a life-changing experience, you cannot do that with taking toxicity into the next phase of your life with you. It's just not gonna work out for you. That might be a friendship, a job. I mean, there can be a long list of the different things that we feel like are toxic in our lives. But at some point, you just gonna have to choose to not deal with it. I know that's easier said than done, especially if it is a relationship that's maybe like toxic in your life. I don't know, family member, friendship, whatever the case. I know that's easier said than done. But again, we have to figure out at what point are we going to put ourselves first, really bring the change into our life that we want, really focus on how to elevate our minds, reinvent, all of that good jazz. We have to figure out at what point are we going to choose us. I'm choosing me. But thankfully enough, I don't have toxic friends in my life. I have very supportive friends, very supportive family. And, there's another thing that I'll get to on another tip. So we'll just save that for then. My number 6 tip as far as a life-changing, daily habit that you can create is meditation. I mean, if you are not meditating, I don't know what you're doing. Let me just say, I meditated this morning, okay? And I've got things personally that I've got going on. But before I let those things even get an ounce of my attention, I immediately sat down. I immediately started meditating. Do y'all know that was the best meditation I had in probably the last couple of weeks? I really just focused on my deep breathing, allowing my whole body, I'm just reminiscing about it right now. I don't know if y'all can tell. But oh my gosh, you guys, even if you don't know how to necessarily meditate, just close your eyes and practice deep breathing exercises. So I just told my husband this morning because he doesn't know how to meditate, and he's like, well, how do I do it? If you need just a simple way to do some deep breathing, start by inhaling 3 seconds and exhale for 3 seconds. Then move your way up to inhaling for 5 seconds and exhale for 5 seconds. Then once you really feel yourself relaxed, then you inhale for 5 seconds, hold the breath in the body for 5 seconds, let that air out and exhale for 5 seconds, and then hold the air out of the body for 5 seconds. And just really, when you are doing this, really make sure that you are breathing deep into your diaphragm. Expand your belly all the way out as you're breathing. When I say, after y'all come up out of that, that will be the most relaxed feeling, because sometimes it really just comes down to us not even breathing the way that we're supposed to. It will just have you at such a level of peace that I literally cannot put into words, okay? And when you are really focusing on elevating and really changing your life, reinventing yourself, you need to be at total peace in order to do that. You truly do. There cannot be anything that is going to bother you mentally in order to really focus on being that higher version of yourself. You are aligned and in tune with yourself so that these daily life changes can be powerful enough to bring that change into your life. These are simple tips that I'm giving y'all, but when you really do them with intentionality behind it, okay? With intentionality behind it, these simple daily life changes can completely, you could look up 6 months later and be in a new house, new car, new circumstances entirely because you chose to really bring peace into your life. My number 7 tip as far as a daily life change is we need to allow room for error, okay? Allow room for you to make mistakes. Making mistakes is okay. It's part of your journey. It's part of how you're going to elevate. I think the biggest thing that we, do, especially in this whole content creating field, any entrepreneur that is out there right now, we've all been through it. We're trying to really make change. We're trying to go hard as we possibly can. We're trying to hustle. We're trying to really just grind it out. What happens is that when you have a hump in the road, or using the example from the content creation, and I'm looking at everybody else's numbers, but I'm not seeing my numbers grow, I begin to start putting pressure on myself. And when I put that pressure on myself, guess what? I tense up, and then guess what? I start getting worried, and then guess what? I start getting anxious. We need to allow ourselves room to make mistakes. You are still progressing. You are still on your journey. You are still elevating, you are still reinventing and changing your life, even if you make an error along the way. It is not going to derail you off of your path if you make one mistake. What will get you derailed off of your path is if you make a mistake and then you put all of this amount of pressure on yourself because of that mistake, and then you lose sight of what you need to focus on. And this goes back to the amount of tasks that you're taking on daily. Really make sure that you are focusing on the amount of tasks and what you can get done in that amount of time. Don't take on 20 projects when you know that you can only do 5 in one day. Pressure, okay? And then what's gonna happen? Your lid is going to explode and you're gonna be all kind of mad and this and that, and that's not what you want. That is not what you want. So again, make sure that you're allowing yourself room to make a mistake. It's okay. You are still growing. My number 8 daily life-changing tip: declutter. Like, seriously, do y'all know how many times, and let's just say my house is clean, okay? My house stays clean. But I have 3 boys and their rooms, oh my gosh. I constantly have to say, can y'all clean y'all room? Can y'all clean y'all room? Your home, your personal office, whatever the case. If you declutter your space, it will have you feeling at peace. It will have you feeling as though you are clear-minded. When it comes to decluttering your space, you're keeping it clean, but what you're really doing is practicing for the person that you are trying to become. So even though, yes, it's a simple thing, of course, we're all gonna clean up all of the times, but really focus on decluttering, keeping your space as clean as possible, making sure everything has a place. That way it can help you stay on track, keep a clear mind, and be able to work, especially if you work from home. But it'll help you really just keep focused throughout your day so that you can keep crushing your goals. Number 9 daily tip that I have for reinventing your life, really changing and elevating your life, is you need to be okay with going into isolation. You want to hit your goals, okay? You've got 10 goals you want to hit this year, and you know that you have got to stay constantly busy. You need to be in isolation. You need to be okay with being by yourself. That is something that I've actually really struggled with because I didn't learn how to be by myself and comfortable by myself until probably last year. And I'm 31. I never had a need to learn how to be by myself. I went immediately from living at my mom's house to boom, I moved in at the dorms my first year of college. My second year of college, I moved into an apartment with one of my friends. Boom, I moved back home with my mom. Boom, I move again and I live with my grandma temporarily. And then boom, I move in with my boyfriend who turned out to be my husband. And here we are 10 years later. So do you see, I never had a need to be by myself. I've always had somebody there. But last year, I really had to realize, like, oh my gosh, I've never been okay with just being by myself. And as I have really grown into my content creation and building my brand, I have truly become very much okay with being by myself. Sometimes I would rather sit here and talk to y'all on my camera than to sit and talk to an actual person. But you have to be willing to go into a deep isolation like that because it is going to help you actually reach your goals. So instead of just talking about the goals you have, you're putting that action in place, and that's what's going to really help you reach the goals that you have in your life. Isolation is not about being, well, I guess it is about being selfish. You're choosing you. You're choosing to really change your life. Change does not come easy. It does not come easy, and we definitely cannot expect that change is going to happen by doing the same things that we've been doing, okay? That's not how change works. You have got to be willing to go through the fire, okay, if you needed to really bring total transformation into your life. So really be okay with going into isolation. Your friends, your family, they'll understand, especially if they know that there are things and goals that you're trying to reach in your personal life. They'll understand that you need to go into isolation. Maybe you won't be hanging out as much. Maybe you won't be at the family gatherings for a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to go into isolation because you are growing your mind at that point. There's nothing greater than elevating your mind. To me, there's no money in the world that can buy that, okay? So be okay with that isolation and be at peace with it. And that is what's really going to bring total transformation into your life. My number 10 tip as far as daily changes that you can be making right now to bring a total transformation into your life is affirmation overload. Don't just speak affirmations to yourself. The problem with just speaking affirmations is that you do not believe what you're saying. You can have the life that you dream of. You can have the car if that's what you want. You can have the big old house if that's what you want. You can have the luxury lifestyle and the travel if that's what you want. But you have to believe that you can have it. So when you give yourself all of these affirmations during your daily practice, be sure that you believe what it is that you're saying to yourself. Hold it true as much as you can in your heart until those things come into fruition. But nonetheless, you've got to believe that you are capable of having what it is that you're telling yourself. I had to go through a really deep, cleanse of my subconscious mind, okay? There are a lot of things buried deep inside the subconscious mind that we don't even know is there, but it's still a part of us. And part of my issue was that growing up, I was kind of, told I can't afford it, don't have it, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes I would still carry that in my mind, well, I'm just a regular old girl from the Midwest. Those things don't happen to, girls like me. And that's not true, okay? So I had to really go through a deep cleanse of my subconscious mind in order to reprogram and tell myself, yes, you can have the life that you want. Yes, you can work hard and you can have that total transformation in your life. Nonetheless, all I'm saying to you is that if you need to go through that deep cleanse of your subconscious mind, do it. Because when you speak those affirmations to yourself, you've got to be able to believe it if you want that total transformation to happen in your life. I know that these were very simple things, but when I say I have been implementing all 10 of these daily life changes into my life, and I feel completely free. Implement these daily changes so that you can create these better habits for your everyday life so that you can get that change. So if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Also make sure that you are hitting that notification bell as well so you can see when the videos are going up on my channel. But I thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next video. So, bye love.